Good day, creatures. Welcome back to my world of stuff. It's a beautiful Saturday afternoon. It's about 1 o'clock. As you can see, I have some very annoying roadworks outside my house, and in fact, right along the road outside my house, which is going to go on for some time apparently, so it's a little bit inconvenient, a bit annoying. However, it has nothing to do with anything, because I'm off to the cinema today. I'm heading to Cardiff, to the Odeon in Cardiff Bay, to see, hang on, a bit shadowy there, to see the latest extravaganza from the Marvel Cinematic Universe, the 455th film in the Marvel series. It's the last of Phase 5, it's the Thunderbolts, Asterix. Looking forward to it. It's had good reviews, I like the cast, seems to have a good vibe, and for all their travails recently, I still look forward to a new Marvel film or TV series, so my hopes are quite high. Bit of an expedition down to Cardiff today, not that far. Gonna meet my friend Scott Holmes. Some of you may remember from our old TV Zone Plus podcast days. We're gonna see the film in IMAX at 2:30, then grab a bite to eat. So this blog, video, whatever, is by way of an out and about, and there'll be review comments about the film after we've seen it. So let's head to Cardiff. Hello! Say hello.
Hello.
You're live on Paul's World of Stuff. Do not swear. How are you? Who are you?
Fantastic.
Excellent. This is Mr. Scott Holmes. We're off to cinema.
Off to cinema
So let's
to
not
watch.
sit around here. They're going to see Thunderbolts. Asterisk. Whatever that means. So let's go do it. I'm here to watch a movie with this guy. We are at the Red Dragon Centre in Cardiff, shortly to be demolished. On its way.
It is, yeah.
We've got
You're
our
through
tickets
to
ready.
Scott Holmes' World of Stuff.
No,
I'm here with Paul Mount as my guest.
I don't think you'd ever get 2,300 subscribers.
Maybe 2,299?
Maybe.
Maybe. With the cold drinks that I can drink.
Hello, welcome back. Okay, we are in the cinema, Odeon Cinema, in Hemingway Road in Cardiff. Waiting to go into the IMAX screen, number one. Scott's just gone to get himself a drink. Got our tickets, and we'll be given this rather nice little keyring thing as a freebie when you're going in, which is a nice bit of tat. There's also other associated tat out there, of course. Popcorn buckets and drinks things. They probably cost about 80 quid. Not really collector's stuff like that, unless they're cheap, of course. But the boy's coming now, so let's go in.
You missed it.
I ain't missed nothing.
Oh, that's why I gotta go see that.
Superman?
I'll have a look because I very much like James Gunn, but I've seen this Superman be a bit miserable, but
Yeah.
I'll be a bit aggressive.
First scene of Superman, he's unconscious on the snow with blood pouring on.
Yeah, and then the dog going nuts.
How to Train Your Dragon?
That
No.
looks good. I think it looks quite good.
I've not seen any of the cartoon ones. This, though, I'm interested in, of course.
I am
Fantastic
intrigued.
Four, Fantastic Four.
But again, he looks amazing.
And he's in everything.
Well,
Except
I was
he's
gonna
not
say,
in The Last of Us now.
Sick of his face.
Spoiler alert.
Oh, no spoilers. I've watched the games.
Come on, let's go to the cinema.
Two hours later.
Hello, welcome back. Time for a quick out of theatre reaction, as they say in the States, to Thunderbolts, Asterisk, and I'll be doing a fuller review a bit later on. First impressions, I absolutely loved this. This was terrific fun, really good engaging story, a great script. It felt like a Marvel film that was made by people who wanted to make a really good film, rather than just a cookie cutter Marvel film because there was a film needed for a release date in the schedule. It felt wanted, it felt it earned itself. There were lots of characters, obviously, that we've met in the past that we haven't really known very well, like Ghost and even Walmart Captain America. but they all had flesh on the bones, the whole story connected to things that have happened in the past, and it's good to see that things that have been building up over the last 4 years pay off in this film, big style. It's very funny, it's got a great pace, some fantastic action sequences, and the ending is not your typical ending to a Marvel film. All in all, I'm going to give this one, well, I'll tell you what I'll give this one a bit later on, but these are my immediate reactions to the film. Now I'm going to ask the boy Scott what he thought.
I thought the film was fantastic. I genuinely really enjoyed it. And it's the first time I can say that about a Marvel product since, I'm going to say, there's probably one or two I'm missing, but since Hawkeye, the TV series, I haven't enjoyed a great deal of Marvel since then. Captain America previous, did enjoy it, but it still felt like a cookie-cutted, sort of edited movie. This felt like I was watching a sort of reattachment and readventure of the Avengers. It was like, watching the Avengers for the first time. You've got these characters you've seen little bits of come together, and it was fun. And that's what I miss with Marvel, is the fun. Just good story, good villain, good characters. They meet and go, and it was nice to see the villain, sort of like the lesser villain. She was very, very good. We've seen, I always forget her name now, what's her name? Anyway,
Go on, I'm not giving you prompts.
She was in Captain America Winter Soldier and stuff like that, so I completely lost her name, but she was fantastic in it regardless. Thoroughly enjoyed it, 9 out of 10 for me. The only thing I think it suffers with is that sometimes it felt a bit long, because movies of this generation, they're all quite a bit long. That's it.
Without any spoilers, favourite moments?
I think the bit that made me kind of go ooh most was a motorbike scene.
Yes, where somebody appears.
Yes.
Yes.
And I thought, ooh, that's good.
That gave me old school Marvel chills. It was like, oh yeah.
But there's a few other bits like it too.
Yeah.
But that's the first one that jumps to my mind. So all important second watch I'm looking forward to.
Thank you very much.
Thank you very much.
So there we are. We're Happy Bunnies. Marvel delivering a classic film after a run of, entertaining but probably disposable films. It brings phase 5. It is phase 5. It brings phase 5 to a pretty spectacular ending with a post-credit sequence that's also a bit of a tingler. So, see you in a bit. Oh, and one more thing. We got food in the noodle bar. The noodle bar, and the food we've got looks a bit like this. Get stuck in there.
Missed it.
Can you miss a target that size? Hello, welcome back. Well, I'm back in the house later on that same evening, and I'll just do a quick roundup of Thunderbolts. As you have gathered from our out of theatre reviews, absolutely loved it. I mean, it was great to see a Marvel film, as I said, that felt that it needed to be made. I think there has been an issue with some of phase 5, both films and TV, that you think, well, this has just been made for the sake of it. It doesn't feel as if it serves any purpose. This very much did. This tied up lots of loose ends from things that go back quite a way now. We had the first appearance of Julia Louis-Dreyfus's Valentina 4 years ago. And she's popped up here and there in these little vignettes where she's recruited somebody for some reason. But that all came together. That was all explained and justified, and it made sense in the story. And I felt that in the writing of this film, they'd made conscious efforts that had to be addressed and pulled together in a story that made sense. Great to see Julia Louis-Dreyfus, incidentally. She's fantastic. Of course, we all remember her as Elaine Benesch from the brilliant Seinfeld back in the 80s. And she delivers a really good performance here as this brutal, ruthless woman who's manipulated these outsiders. And this film has often been compared to things like The Suicide Squad, but I think it's much more grounded than that. The Suicide Squad films, much as I enjoyed James Gunn's second film, which was a massive flop unfortunately, it was much more extreme comic book stuff with crazy monsters and people with extraordinary powers. This was about people who are extraordinary but not necessarily incredibly powerful. They are outsiders, they are losers, they are minor characters in the Marvel Cinematic Universe, but in bringing them together in this film, in this context, it makes them more important, as we will see towards the end of the film when they go in a certain direction. Stunning action sequences, which we come to expect in Marvel films here. The story itself is very interesting in that it's very much focused on Florence Pugh's Yelena, who of course is Black Widow's sister from the Red Room initiative in Russia. She is a widow who's been recruited now by Valentina to carry out certain black ops for her. But Yelena is getting a bit fed up with that. That's all her life is. She's going down the pan, she's drinking heavily. She has no life apart from being this agent killing on demand. And she wants more from that out of life. And when she's sent on one final mission, she tells Valentina that she doesn't want this life anymore, but she'll go on one more mission. So she's sent to this mountaintop facility. And when she gets in there, she discovers that there are other people there, including the Ghost from Ant-Man and the Wasp. We also have Taskmaster from the Black Widow film. And we have Wyatt Russell's US agent, or the, you might want to call him the Poundland Captain America from Captain America Winter Soldier TV show. And they're all here. They've all been recruited because they are outsiders. They're sort of failures, but she's recruited them as agents. Now she's brought them all together because Valentina is under threat of impeachment by the government and she wants to wipe out all evidence of her past activities. And this includes this bunch of no-marks, losers. There's also another character there who proves to be quite important to the storyline called Bob, who appears to be this slacker who doesn't know quite why he's there, and we don't know quite why he's there, but they sort of team up together to get out of this facility, and it all snowballs from there. There's some terrific action sequences, some really good, well-judged comedy sequences, particularly from David Harbour, who is back as Yelena's father, the Red Guardian. And I had the Marvel tingle from this a couple of times. I haven't had that for years watching a Marvel film, but there's a sequence, sort of car chase action sequence, where something happens and someone appears that you sort of want to punch the air, and it gives you that familiar, yeah, this is why I like Marvel stuff, because it can do this. It gets that real frisson of excitement, which has been a long time coming in a lot of Marvel things over the last few years. The final sequences are very clever because we've got this menace that appears called Sentry, who is this incredibly superpowered being who attacks New York, and it's slightly reminiscent, I suppose, of Infinity War, where he turns people to shadows. He sort of dusts them and they're destroyed outright instantly. And of course, our heroes, the Thunderbolts, as they're not yet called, they are completely underpowered to take on a character like this. But the way that he is brought down is very clever and very psychological. Part of the thrust of this story is about the psychology of these characters, these outsiders, these lowest self-esteem characters who have powers and abilities but haven't really achieved anything. They're not heroes, they're on the edge. And the way the villain is brought down is by delving into that psyche, that sort of psychological element of things. So it isn't a massive CGI fest at the end of the film. We do have a bit of that earlier on, but the actual final battle is on a completely different battlefield and battleground, and is all the more refreshing because of it. It's a really good film. I very much enjoyed this, and I am not one of those who slated Captain America Brave New World earlier this year. I thought that was really good, if a bit simplistic and a bit I suppose cookie cutter, but it was certainly a step up from some of the films we've had, and it was a pointer in the right direction, and this is another step in the right direction. Hugely entertaining, spectacular, funny, but as I said earlier on, it felt as if it had earned the right to be there because we've had these characters in the past. It brings them centre stage, develops them, makes them all interesting characters in their own right, and sets them off on a new path, hopefully. Great film, absolutely loved it. Florence Pugh owns it, of course. David Harbour is terrific. As I said, Julie Louis-Dreyfus can do no wrong. It's epic, and it's another big win for Marvel from me. I didn't rate it earlier on when we were eating our food, but I am now going to give it a big 9 out of 10 because I thought it was terrific. As Thunderbolts is in cinema now, it's new from the MCU. If you've seen Thunderbolts, let me know what you thought of it. Do you think it was great, or do you think it was not so good? I'd be interested to hear either way, and if you leave a comment, try to be constructive. Let me know what you thought. If you're new to the channel, like and subscribe if you don't mind. And I will see you soon. Till I do, keep taking the stuff.